It's a brand new style by Belle Tress. I'm going to show you Nitro today, and I have it in 3 colors. You won't want to miss all 3 colors and the unboxing coming up. All 3 of the featured wig styles today I purchased with my own funds. You can find them at Wig Studio One. Drop below the video, expand the description box. You will find a link directly to this style, all of the other Belle Tress styles as well, so you can check out all of the color offers, more details, and pricing. We invite you to shop at Wig Studio One. Belle Tress is always an automatic 30% off at checkout at Wig Studio One while promo lasts. If you have any questions for us, please reach out to support@wigstudio1.com. So it's time to meet Nitro by Belle Tress. I'm showing it here in the root beer float blonde. Nitro is a long, kind of irregularly cut bohemian wavy style. So let's get into the root beer float blonde as it is applied to the Nitro style here. In this application, I'm noticing a medium and a dark sandy blonde. And then you have a combination of some ash blondes and some ash platinum. This is a very cool tone overall. I almost forget that this color has a root just because it transitions so naturally into the main body of the color. It's more of a dark ash blonde, light ash brown root. You can see the color distribution has a lot of those platinum highlights, which they do take all the way up to this lace front. So Nitro is a new long style by Belle Tress, but it's not ultra long like we've been seeing some of the 23 and even 28-inch styles. This is about 16.5 inches from the crown down to the tip of the hair in the back. What you have to remember about this style and a lot of the Belle Tress styles is that it's sort of rough cut. It's an irregular cut all the way around. So you might see some longer pieces, some shorter pieces. They're not lining up exactly the same all the way around. And that is a part of the identity. It's a part of the casual bohemian style look that we are going for. Now in the front, you're going to see about a 15.5 inch piece. Now I think it's much longer than that. In fact, the left side here is a little longer than the right side. If you don't like some of that irregular cut, you could always trim it up to match whatever length you wish. I always use a blending shears just to go through and snip those longer pieces. Now Nitro has that lace front left monofilament side part assembly. It does not extend back into the ear tab, so it runs temple to temple, depending on how wide your temples are, right? It's fairly narrow from here to here. And then there's a left monofilament side part. Now, when you don't have an extended lace front, you always want to look to be sure the seams are obscured nicely, because where that lace front meets the cap, there's usually a bit of a seam there. This seems to be done very well. The lace front is very fine in its knotting, and the monofilament part doesn't quite reach the crown, so it's a bit stunted there. But it has a nice wide parting space. It'll give you lots of options for styling as well as a nice natural look from the front and top. There's quite a bit of hair on Nitro. It weighs just over 5 ounces, which is typical of a longer style by Belle Tress. So there's quite a bit of hair on this Nitro style. You're going to find a nice medium to average density here. Each one of the fibers is super fine. So there's a lot of fiber, but all of them are very nice, super fine. So it doesn't feel heavy or thick, and it has beautiful movement. This style joins the rest of the styles in that Cafe collection by Belle Tress, which are all made from that same luxurious heat-friendly fiber. I always say there's nothing like the feel and experience of a brand new Belle Tress wig right out of the box. You just can curl up in it and take a nap. It's just amazing. It feels very, very soft. And because each one of these fibers is really super fine, you can expect a lot of flyaways. Now, if you don't like the flyaways, if it's a little bothersome to you, just getting in your face and so forth, you can take a little styling paste, a little texture spray or something, and just work those little hairs back into the style, and then it'll provide a little bit of hold for you. Now with me, I don't, it doesn't bother me unless there's an extreme amount of flyaways that it kind of gets in the face. But I actually think flyaways give it a nice natural touch, just because natural human hair has a ton of flyaways, especially with the finer textures and deniers. Let's introduce our second color. If you look back here, you could probably pick them out on letter H. So I will try this on here in just a moment, but I want to show you a little bit of a side-by-side so I can explain the curl pattern on this style. It's a little different than the other Belle Tress styles. So it's very popular and on trend these days to create a little bit of curl sort of in the middle of the hair shaft and allow the top and the ends to go straight. In order to achieve this look in real life, you would probably have to straight press the hair to begin with. And then you would start in the middle with your wide barreled curling iron. And you would create curls all the way around, only in the middle, leaving the bottom 3 to 4 inches out of the curling iron. So that creates a little bit of crimping in the middle. And the other thing that you can do to create a nice tousled look is, instead of making the curls go all in one direction, you could curl one this way and then curl one in the opposite direction. That gives it a tousled, less uniform look. And I think that's what they're going for here, is that bohemian, casual, not too perfect kind of a look. The fiber feels a lot softer, and there's a finer density, a lighter density on the champagne with apple pie compared to this root beer float blonde. I'm going to go ahead and slip on the champagne with apple pie. I'm going to show it to you, examine the color, but then we're going to do an unboxing. I have one more color to show you that's still in the box. Here's Nitro in the color champagne with apple pie. And the fiber is a little more fine on this one. The flyaways are a little more prevalent. So I just want to move those back into the style a little bit here. Now, one thing to note here is that this one came out of the box with absolutely no lift and contour at the front. Now, back here on the root beer float blonde, that lift that you saw at the front, that was there when I took it out of the box. It was sort of baked in, and all I had to do was just emphasize it a little bit with my hands. This one didn't have much of a contour, and it's fairly flat on top because there's not much permatease on this style at all. So what I'd like to do, just for my own preference, is to bring out whatever contour is there to help keep it out of the eyes, keep it out of the face, give a little bit of lift and height at the top. And I may need to use a little heat or a little product in order to get that to stay. But what a beautiful style and color. This champagne with apple pie is a combination of some light neutral, ash, and natural blondes. Now I feel like some applications of champagne with apple pie are warmer than others. This one is neutral leaning warm just because of some of the more golden appeal of that natural blonde. A combination of cool and neutral. And all of that is on a light brown root. Now I do also find that on the champagne with apple pie, that rooting is typically a little warmer than butterbeer blonde or root beer float blonde. So it looks a little spicier, like a little bit of a light caramel on this application. And you can see they also bring that very creamy light blonde right up to the lace front here. So now it's time for our unboxing. Let's go ahead and do an unboxing of that third color. I previously filmed this just about an hour before filming this main review today. The color is Brown Sugar Sweet Cream. And everybody is familiar with the packaging by Belle Tress. There's no surprises there. And it's always very nicely packaged. All of the stuffings on the inside just to help keep the shape of the wig and prevent it from moving around during shipping. a tight weave pattern there at the parting space. I'm just going to shake it out really well, and then I have a wide tooth comb. I'm just going to gently pick at the root just to set the fiber free. I'm also going to pick out the weave part just as much as I can before applying it. Taking a look at this, it has a texture similar to the champagne with apple pie. It's extremely light, extremely soft, and more of a medium to light density compared to the root beer float blonde, which is a little heavier and coarser and thicker. But the curl pattern looks the same. Now, as soon as I apply this, I go ahead and work it out with my hands, and then I try to work it around the face. On the Belle Tress styles, I typically take the part a little closer to the center. And by doing that, it divides just a little differently around the face and creates the look that I like. It actually allows for a little bit of lift in the area of the front, because it creates a little bit of resistance against how it was laying in the box. And I prefer that. I do prefer that. Now, there is a little bit of contour naturally here, but you would really have to work that, I think, to get it to stay. Beautiful, beautiful style and color. Let's go ahead and take a look at this color, Brown Sugar Sweet Cream. It's a combination of some medium and dark ash and neutral browns. So there's a light neutral brown, there's a medium ash brown, and then it has some ash and some pale gold highlighting. Overall, this color is leaning very cool. Although it has a little bit of pale gold highlights in there, it really doesn't do much at all to warm it up. By adding a little bit of warmth, it really does open up and make this more broadly appealing. And then you'll see a medium brown root, a little bit of a darker root that transitions seamlessly into the main color. And in the unboxing, I did notice that the seam here was a little more visible than on some others. I mean, it's not terrible. And all you have to do is move the hair down over the seam a little bit. And I think it looks more stark just because of the highlight that's brought right up. So just swirl around on it to loosen that fiber up and over that seam, and it is very nice. And you can definitely bring it away from the face without worry. So what do you guys think of this new style by Belle Tress? Is this something that's different enough that would persuade you to purchase this based on the kind of the curl pattern? Because a lot of the Belle Tress styles are a lot alike. Now, the Belle Tress typical texture is more of a shattered spiral that's been taken down on the ends. And then you'll get a few with a nice smoother wave. This is kind of a combination of both, where you're going to see that rough cut irregular texture and lengths, but there's a little bit of smooth curl in the middle. Like I say, I feel like that's really on trend right now. It just makes you look hip and young, and you know what's going on out there. You see this all over Pinterest, this kind of curl pattern. So I'm going to put up a side-by-side of all three of these colors so you can see them all at one time in both indoor and outdoor light, and then we'll do some styling. cap features on this style make it very, very versatile to style with. So you can do all of your typical away from the face styles, your updos, your ponytails. Let's try with glasses. Fits beautifully between the ear and the ear tab, which doesn't surprise me. On a Belle Tress style because there's very little permatease in that temple area. So it's a great glasses friendly style. So I'm just gonna go ahead and manipulate this hair a little bit so you can see how it moves and reacts to styling. Everybody have a great day. Be sure to check this out at Wig Studio One. All of the links are below the video.